Okay. All right, unfortunately, I had to start this very early today because we are in the midst of a tropical storm, and I wanted to make sure that I at least got this episode in, and it is actually probably going to be pretty much an issue later on, but better to be safe than sorry in case we lose power or something, and then I can't do it, and then people that have been waiting for this, at least you can go back and watch it once it uploads itself. So I apologize for those that were waiting to see this live, but if you're there, I'll do my best to answer whatever questions you have. We are going to go in Rob Factor mode 1 here because we are going to try to get as much as we can done in the amount of time that I feel that we'll have before the storm really starts to run through here. We're supposed to get anywhere from 30 to 50 mile an hour winds, so I'd just like to make sure that we're going to be fine. So why don't we get going here, and we are going to be painting, of course, Warhammer Quest. Now, I'm going to try to get all the little things done today, the things that are really kind of nagging and get kind of naggy. So we're going to start with our two favorite models that are completely annoying, and that, of course, is the pink horrors. And we're going to use an Emperor's Children on them. And let me just get that little light there. As you see, I pretty much did everything in black right here, so all I'm going to do is just kind of smother this guy. And I'm not going to worry about getting it all over the place because we are actually going to go back over it a few times with different types of washes and stuff. So I'm not too worried about watering this paint down because the wash is really going to really get in there and bring out the detail that we need. So we're just going to kind of get this all over nice and easy without too much of a problem here. And we're just using, like I said, an Emperor's Children, which is perfect for this right now, or the stage that we have it in. And we gotta want to get these all nice and painted up. You want to stay away from the mouth, but the inside of the mouth, you do not want to get any of this pink in here. You kind of want to just kind of work your way around the edges there. Don't worry about getting on the teeth either. That's not going to be a big deal either. We're going to make it all work just fine. Let me get my hand in there. So actually, let me move this camera back. There we go. So now we're centered. Sorry about that. And we're just going to scoot this underneath. There's plenty of channels out there if you want to see a professional do it. But I kind of like doing a job that kind of everybody else will kind of do. Just a nice, simple, good old-fashioned paint job on here. And I'm using just an old brush. I'm not worried about these fire things because we're going to go back and we're going to go highlight those later on. Right now we're just worried about getting good coverage all over so it looks good. Finished my pink horrors earlier today, now busy with the blue horrors while watching this. Oh, great. So you're ahead of me. Glad somebody is. Yeah, I just didn't have time to really start this, and we did the 2 trials already. And I would have liked to have had everything looking nice on the table, but I got a feeling that this will all come out just right and just in time for our 3rd trial, which is most important. So we're just getting that pink on there. We're not worrying about anything else than that right now. Making sure that we got good coverage on there. And if we get it on the knife, we're not worried about that either. We just want to make sure that we got it in there good. Not worried about these feathers, even though I'm going over them. And the back of the hand there, we got to get. All right, we're doing pretty good here. And there we go, there's one. So we'll put him aside, and we'll go right to number 2 here, which he's got. And we're just smattering on there with reckless abandon. I couldn't imagine facing 2 of these at the same time. I'm not liking this brush. Everything's about a feel, and if you feel it with your brush, then you're in good shape. So we're going to get a little more paint on here. And boy, this storm just came out of nowhere. Just came right up the Gulf Coast and decided to develop. And it's going to hit pretty hard just north of us because we're in Central Florida. So it's coming from the west. But hopefully everything will be all right. We got everything in and laying down, and we're just going to get hit with a bunch of squalls of water, which we can use the water. That's for sure. You can never, well, you couldn't have too much water, but it's better than a drought sometimes. All right, let's get that in there. Let's get underneath here, work behind. And we're going to go wash this, and then we're going to go over it with a dry brush. Don't worry, Rob, you will finish your minis long before I do. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. Hopefully everything will time out right. We are doing the executive hurry up and get it done job on these because the kids were complaining. They don't like playing with unpainted miniatures. I think they're just spoiled, rotten kids. That's a problem. And they like their things painted. Well, I do too. It adds when we do a video if you have it painted, and I really don't like doing stuff without it painted, but you know, this was such a, you know, with MegaCon and all the other stuff that we had going on, it just kind of worked out right. All right, I just took the dog out, so she should be quiet for a while. Actually, she was helping me get these out and get some things done. And we made sure that before it really rains hard that she went to the bathroom. None worse than having to take her out when it's torrential pouring and she decides she has to go. All right, let's get that. And I really like to get this good head start here. All right, there's number 2. All right, so we're going to let those dry. While those dry, we're going to move on to something else. Constantly moving here. Perpetual motion. So the next thing that we're going to do is, well, if you have pink horrors, what's the next thing you do? Well, you do your blue horrors. This way you come back to everything. So where's that color that I'm going to use? I'm going to use a particular blue to start this off. I'm going to use a Techless blue just for to start with, because I want that dark blue look on these guys. So while our pink horrors are drying, we're going to go and we are going to, and again, be a little careful around the mouth. You know, you want to kind of leave that black there, but we are going to get that Techless blue in there, and we are going to get our blue horrors with their base coat on, and then we're going to work out from there. But we want to make sure that we get a really nice coverage here. which is just very important to get going here. And these are guys that are pretty much easy to work with. So we're going to get that in there real nice. And you can see I'm almost kind of like a dry brushing this first blue on, because we're not worried about the detail until we do our wash, and then from there we're going to dry brush over the higher end areas. If you notice, I went over the mouth a little bit, but that's okay. I still got some of that black in there that I want to have when I go in there and paint those teeth. And I want to make sure that I get those just right. So there we go. Let me check to see how this is coming up on camera. Alright. Yeah, well, you can see my hand. Okay. I'm just worried that it might look blurry. Alright, so let's move these guys over here. Get these rats over on the outside here. As you could hear, Janice, she's here watching their usual housewife, whatever reality show it is this week. I actually get to watch it from over here. Alright, so let me put my headset down. You can talk. Alright, there we go. And we want to get underneath here. We want to make sure that we cover all those areas with the blue, because after all, they are blue horrors, right? And there we go. Not worried about the knife. I mean, if we get a little blue on there, that's okay, because we're going to go over that very quickly. These things were a pain in the neck yesterday. Actually, those pink horrors are nasty, because it takes you like forever to kill everybody. And if you get stuck in a room, not a good thing. Alright, there we go. Another one. Put them over there to dry. We've got two more over here. And let's see what else we got here. Yeah, we're just going to keep working with our blue horrors. We're not worried about the magic there. We are going to just, there we go, just work. Try to not get it, make it a little easier when we take our smaller brush and do the work. And we are going to work this whole angle. And again, if you didn't hear, she heard somebody coming home. Sorry about that, folks. That's up. Yes? Are you searching for your keys? They're in the door, I'm sure. Yes, they are. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. Daughter just got home from work. So what we're going to do, yeah, just put them there, please. Thank you. And we are just working around that fire. You know, it's okay if you get it and can't help it, but we're trying to cover every area that we can. Right there. And that works out perfectly. There we go. Hey Rob, excited to finally paint the figures so they're painted the next time you play. You definitely made it known you were not happy about them not being unplated, because it all kind of got lost in the playthrough, and that's what kind of bothered me about it. Usually some things it doesn't matter, but with this it really does make a difference. The Warhammer stuff, anything from Games Workshop, has to be painted before you play it, or at least halfway painted. Alright, so that's number 2. I had to start this early because we are having a tropical storm come through here starting around 5 or so. So I did not want to take a chance and start this at 6 o'clock and lose power halfway through it. And I promised I would start this today. You could talk, Tam, it's fine. It's not like everybody doesn't know that everything works around this house. Oh, she's walking around with the, okay. Well, just yell at her. Silently. As you guys know, it's kind of like you guys are here in the room. We don't try to make this high production value. We just try to make things real simple. And the dog's being fresh, taking mom's shoe. Any minute she's going to crash because she was outside running. We try to run her up pretty good before the storm hits. And it shouldn't be too bad, 30 to 50 mile an hour winds, but I just don't want to take a chance and start something. And at least this will be up for those of you that want to watch this at 6 o'clock. And you'll be able to see it. Okay, so we got our initial color on our blue horse. So now we're going to clean off our brush. And we are going to work all the way down. And that's the key here, is to work your way down. So let me take a look here, what I'm going to do next. Those are pretty nasty. All right, so that's the way I'm going to go with that. So the next thing is, of course, if you defeat the blue horse, guess what? What happens? Now I'm going to come back to all these, but right now we want to get our initial coats on these things and start working, each coat and just really kind of just, it's kind of like a bum rush. We're trying to get everything to a good point where we can just work on it and really make it look pretty nice. So just excuse me for a second. I just got to wipe off some of this. And again, for those of you that couldn't, we're expecting this to start at 6 o'clock. Again, I apologize. Like I said, the most important thing is that we want to make sure that we got this in, and I was a little worried with the storm coming. So we're going to go with I think I'm going to go with a Wild Rider Red underneath for after you beat the blue horse. Then there's these fiery things. I forgot what you call them. So what's next unopened, unplayed game you and your family are going to play? Well, we're going to leave that up to Justin because Justin has been doing such a great job reading the rules. And we've both been working together. And I just wish he would start making a few videos explaining rules because, he's very clear, concise. And if you guys have had a chance to watch some of our work lately, I think it's some of the best work we've done because he takes the time to explain each game the best he can. And I just think he's doing a wonderful job at it. All right, so these guys, real simple. The first color is always remember, it's always hard to paint fire because you almost have to do things in reverse, and fire never really looks like fire. And that's kind of the bad thing about it. But you always do the colors outside in. So your lightest color would always be on the inside, and you would work out darker and darker. But with these guys, they're a little different because it's magic flames. So we're going to go with the orange starting off, and then what we're going to do is we're going to work out. So I think that's the best way to do these guys. So like I said, we are just whipping through and just trying to pick out certain things, and really you get your base coats on, and then you can work all your magic from there and really kind of, first of all, it makes you feel a lot better once you see the base coats on things and you go, oh wow, you look at 51 models and you don't go, oh my god, I got 51 models to paint. I've already got what, 2, 4, that's 6, that's 10 right here, that at least I got the base coat on. And you could feel some kind of sense of accomplishment. And that's, with painting, a lot of it has to do with your psyche. A lot of people say skill. Yeah, of course, there's a lot of people with a lot of great skill out there, and they can just look at something and it's painted. But then, there's people like me and the rest of you guys that, struggle with certain things. And what you try to do is you try to work your way through, and, getting those little victories, those little senses of accomplishment is really, really what helps you bring it home. Let's see what else. Love watching your channel to unwind. How you find time to be a family man, work on bodybuilding, and being a hobbyist is truly inspirational. Well, thank you so much. That really means a lot, sir. Well, I'm only as good as the people behind me or in front of me. And, my wife's a big part of that. She allows me to, not so much allows me, but gives me the, we work together on things and I'll handle certain things, but she allows me the freedom to be able to do this. She knows the kids enjoy it. She knows that my health's important to me, so she understands working and everything else that I do. And, it takes a long time, but, when you have a best friend for a wife, it really helps a lot because, it's somebody that truly inspires you and is inspired by the things that you do. My biggest fan is her, except every time she deletes my account. She's unsubscribed many times. I've caught her. She's tired of notifications. No, she's just really a big fan, and then the kids always enjoy it, so that really keeps you going because they really enjoy the videos that we make, the things that we do, and we do a lot of it as a family, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's something I enjoy. Their cosplay, I enjoy seeing them do that. All right, so there we go. We got just while talking, and just in the 10 or 15 minutes that we've been on the air. How long have we been on the air? Oh, 20 minutes, and that's only because I talked halfway through. We've got 10 base coats on, and that's all right. So we'll let those dry real good because we don't want to wash over them too early. Because you wash over them, what happens is you lose some of it. Why, thank you, Gab. Thanks for licking my legs there. That was impressive. All right, so what's the next thing that we do? Well, that's pretty easy. What the heck is going on here? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We take our gobos. Now the gobos are really, really kind of simple because basically it is just a snot green. Let's see if we got our wagog flesh. There we go. And what we're going to do is go light over that. So we're going to use a smaller brush and really work from there. Yeah, I haven't really seen Justin at all. We've seen his hands turn live plays, but not much else. When I was running dual cameras on some of the stuff, you would be able to see him. Good kid. Good, smart kid. Now, with these, we have to be a little more controlled because the black is basically their main color for their outfits. So we really don't want to have to do double the work. But I mean, like I always tell you guys, if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. It's very, very fixable, and we can do that. So let's see what we could do here. Let me try to find a brush that I'm going to feel comfortable with today because it's really funny. One day I'll feel comfortable with a brush and the next day I won't. And Soul, thank you so much. Soul Thong, thank you so much for those kind words. They really do mean a lot. You guys have no idea how y'all mean to this channel. This channel's nothing without you guys. All right, so we've got our flash here. So let's get our helmet down and let's get to work, huh? So here's the simple part of it. Now, what we want to do is we want to, and you want to make sure that you really got your hands on this guy good, because you want to work from the outside and make sure that you have good control and try to work inward. There we go. And what I like to do is just kind of work from the big part and work towards the edge. Now there's a couple tricky parts here, And that's his ears, but we're not worried about his ears just yet, because what we're going to do is get underneath his chin. We're going to, again, start at the outer part here. Now, if we get anything on his weapons, we're not worried about that. We just don't want to touch the black. And if we do, don't worry about it. We can, if it's not too bad, you can actually just, the next color that we're going to dry brush to give that black some detail, we can just work from there with that. So because these guys are a pain in the neck, and of course I'm not liking this brush I got, so it's all about feel. It really is about feel, and you gotta have a good sense of feel. Like, I don't even want to try the ears with this, but I'm just trying to finish up this guy, his legs, and just keep good flow. That's all I'm trying to do, is just, while I'm painting, I just don't want to stop, because I want to keep a good flow to what I'm trying to accomplish here. And there we go. We're going to work on the inside of the leg and work out. If you notice, I'm just really just trying to make sure that I get all the main parts of that. And you can see that it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it's all going to come together. There we go. So his inside of his arms and his feet here, we're going to make sure that we're going to take care of that. And there we go. And there we go. I'm not worried about hitting the weapon there. See how I got a little bit on, oops, I went right off the camera. Oops, that's my fault, because I tried to get it too close to my face. Okay, so here we go again. Sorry about that. And we're going to work that down there. And we're just going to work in between that gap there. I'm not liking this at all, this brush. So I'm going to change brush in a minute after we're done with this guy, because I think I can go faster with a better brush. It's not about speed, but you know, when you got as many guys to work on, you kind of like to get certain parts done. And I do understand what Game Workshop talks about when they say that they want to basically take and split these guys up so you can paint them, because professional painters will paint all the pieces and then glue them afterwards. I don't tend to do that. I don't mind cleaning up mistakes a little bit, because you're going to make mistakes because of some of the tight areas that you're going to have. There we go. But most of the times, if you're really careful, you can work through it. All right, there we go. We're going to get his ears in a second there. So let's take a look here. I wonder if that's too far away or too close. Let me adjust this camera a little bit. So hold on here. I'm going to put my finger there. And there we go. Save. So let's hold up this guy. Oh. Alright, so that's a little bit better. If we keep that right about there, I don't think we lose anything. Yeah, haven't, okay, making sure I got all the things in there. Perfect. So we're going to get rid of this brush, because I don't like this brush. I want something a little thinner, something that I have a little more control over. Alright. So let's see. Nope, not that. I want something small, but not too small, because we'll be sitting here all day. Let's try this. It's a brand new Royal Majestic. Never used it before. It's got a nice little tip on it. It should be able to work perfectly with it. See, it's blurry. Alright, so let me go out again. Alright, save it. Yeah, that's good. Alright, that works for me. which is fine. No, you're fine. I'm not worried about it. If you gotta go in the refrigerator, go in the refrigerator. All right, so now we're gonna come back to the ear. And I'm gonna go in the center of the ear here. And I'm just gonna touch it. That's all I wanna do. Bink. There's one ear. And there's two ears. There we go. Much better. Okay, so that's one guy with his base coat on. So let's just keep working on this here. Boy, oh boy, I don't know what it is with brushes today. Alright, so let's, like I say, you always start on this part of the leg and you work up into that area slowly until you feel comfortable enough with that. And then you come here and work down. And the same thing here. Making sure that we stay within the camera. That's the hardest thing about painting, believe it or not, is just staying on camera. You can stay on camera, you can do anything. Usually I draw a little X here, but the X is over on the other side because of the way I got this different type of setup here, so I can work a certain way. So that's working pretty good there. There we go. All right, and then let's get the inside here, and that's easy enough to do. And I have to cross hand to get. Now this guy has an arrow bucket here, so he's a little different. And some of these poses are a little different, but the main thing is to just get our main areas painted on these guys, and then we'll be able to do other things with them as we move on. And we'll be switching in on the paints. Right here I'm using a God flash, just in case you guys are curious as to what I'm doing. Okay, let me just take a look, see if anybody's saying, hey Rob, how you doing? Big Bang, I'm doing fine. Good to see you, as always. And we're finally working on getting these ready for our next trial, which will be next week sometime, maybe Sunday. But we will fit other games in there, just so this doesn't become the Warhammer Quest channel. Because I am getting pressure from certain individuals that they want to see. My family, more or less. They want to see. They want to play. Excuse me. Not that they want to see. They want to play Shadows of Brimstone. They want to play Dungeon Saga. They want to play Descent. Well, Janice wants to play Descent. Justin's not. He still has a bad taste. Once he gets a bad taste in his mouth about something, that's it. He's done. And it's a remarkable thing. No matter how many times I try to talk him through it. The same thing with video games. Oh, just try this video game. Nope. Nope, I didn't hear it. Didn't get a good rating. But just, this is kind of fun. No, you can play it. Okay. If that's what you say. And these guys are a little challenging. They really are, because of how their feet go and everything like that. And you can get it from here, which is perfect. So it's a little harder than normal, but it's getting there. So that's what's most important. And getting it painted is very important, because it looks cooler when it's painted. It always looks cooler when it's painted. Okay, so again with the face, yeah, this brush isn't doing it for me either. And I'll go through days like that when I just don't feel the brush. And that's why I buy so many of them. I buy cheap ones, I buy expensive ones. I just don't know what I'm going to have a feel for, because, you know, like anything else, your body's different. And on different days, you feel different ways. And I really believe that you don't always feel a certain way or can move a certain way. And that's what I think really kind of works with brushes particularly. All right, so let's get this guy over there. And I'm going to close that up. I'm going to clean this brush off because I do not like this one either. I will find, see, this one's coming apart. And this is one of the better brushes too. When the bristle starts coming off, you gotta do a little repair work so I can use it in the future for something. Brand new brush too. Wow. Royal Majestic. Well, we'll stay away from those, huh? Alright, let's see what we got in here. I've only got a million brushes. It's just a matter of finding the one that I feel like using today. Alright, let's try this. Alright. Let's try this one. Might do it today. May not. And again, if you were just tuning in, I'm very sorry that this is early, but there is a tropical storm warning and for this area for tonight, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think we'll have internet, and I'd rather just try to get this up and going now while we have lights and power and stuff like that, and try to get as much as I can done so we don't lose our schedule of doing this in 3 days. And I think that's the most important thing. Right now we're 30 minutes and we're doing pretty well. 30 minutes in. I figured 6 hours total for the whole thing. I'd probably do more on another day if I had to. At least I'll have Thursday open. But I've also got a ton of painting projects I've got to address. That I have coming up for charity stuff that I have to do. Get prepared for the Dice Tower. My top secret project. We're going back with the Mice and Mystics thing as well. You know, we got kind of tied up and away from that. We wanted to do that, but we didn't get a chance to do it, so we are going. And again, like I'm telling you here, the black is very important here, so you don't really want to hit it. So you can hit weapons and stuff like that on you, but you really kind of want to make sure that your brush moves along here. We've got 4 more of these guys to do with this green, and these guys are going to get dry brushed real good. And we'll throw a little ink on them as well, making sure there's no phone, there's no messages, and so far we're keeping up with the messages, which is great, and we're able to talk you guys all the way through this. So I hope you're enjoying this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I usually pop over and take a look, and I do my best to answer anything that you guys want to throw at me. Is there an 8th guy in there? No, there can't be. Because why do I have only 7 guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh-oh. Hope I didn't drop one. And the dog is licking my leg while I'm trying to paint. Gab, it's really not going to make a good painting video. You licking me. Again, work the face from the nose and work into the hood. Go under the chin to get any excess paint off if you've got too much on there. And then from here, again, you're working from the nose inward, and it just saves you a good amount of work. All right, so we're going to work that, we're going to work. And we're going to clean our brush in a minute. All right. Let me make sure I'm not missing a guy. One, two. No, he's there. He's there. I don't think I'm missing a guy. Check in here. No. Is there 8 of those guys? I hope not. Pretty sure there's 8, so I don't know why I'm missing 1. I hope it didn't drop. The dog ate it. Let me just double check. Make sure I'm not losing my mind. Yep, found him. He was in the box. He didn't get painted. So what we'll do is we'll worry about him last. That's an easy fix. At least the model's not missing. That's a good thing, I think. That's a good thing. All right. All right, let's just finish this guy up. And we'll move on to the next guy. All right, so we know we got one more goblin left. We know we have one more goblin left. Yep, you just counted and I have 8 goblins. Yep, I just found them. See, I know in my head what I have. And if I see something missing, something isn't right, yeah, I go looking around for it. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is do these ears, and we want to be very, very careful with the ears here. Again, make sure that you have complete control and just touch the middle of the ear. Work your way out. Touch the middle of the ear. And work your way out. There we go. Alright, that's 3. Boy, this will drive you batty. Let's see what else we got going on here. Okay, just trying to come up with a game plan here. Make sure that we get everything. And this guy wasn't done right, so we're going to have to go over the black with him a bit, so that's alright. That's alright, we can touch up the black. I'm not worried about. You didn't spray him right, and sometimes, you know, when you spray that primer on there, it's a big help because it actually fits in the color of the thing, but when you miss, like I did here, which is okay, it happens, you know, it could be a real pain in the neck when you got to go back and you just got to remember to do things and touch things up. And that's half of it, you know. Sometimes you go too fast. Sometimes it's just better to take your time. And that's the most important thing. Take your time. Enjoy what you're doing. I'll tell you what I don't enjoy is putting these things together sometimes. But, you know, that becomes a hobby too. Because there's a level of satisfaction when you're finally done with them. Alright, so again, we're going to start on the outside here. Don't worry about hitting the weapon. And try to keep from hitting the good black that we have on there. So we're going to hit there. And I'm starting to get in a little rhythm with these guys. That's the thing, you'll start getting into a rhythm. But always break things up. If you've got like 50 of something to paint the same color, do like 25 and then do something else. go and then come back to it, or else, it can get monotonous and will grind on you. And that's the one thing, you don't want to make this feel like a job. You really kind of just want to get it done, but you want to get it done without it feeling, oh, I can hear the rain already coming. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Here it comes. Yeah, we knew it was coming. All of a sudden the sky just opens up. That's Florida for you. We don't get snow, but this is our winter. This is when we get rainstorms, the rainy season. But we need the rain. That's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us going. You're not leaving right now, miss, are you?
Yes.
Well, why don't you wait till it stops downpouring?
That's right. I'm helping her run an errand for my mother.
All right, please be careful.
Of course.
All right, so it looks like it's me and the dog. They've got to run an errand down the road. But they're going to wait for it to stop squalling a bit before it starts getting real bad. Because they said around 5, 6. That's when it's really supposed to make a big difference here. So hopefully it'll stay quiet until they get here. Are you taking your car or my car? I mean, your car or her car?
Victoria's.
Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Just wanted to make sure everybody was going
Sorry, everybody.
safe. Well, you don't have to be sorry, Tim. I understand. Let's see. All right, so there we go. We got another gobbo done, so we got 3 more to go here. And what time is it? 46 minutes in. I want to keep this to around 2 hours, so we should be able to get a good amount of stuff, and then tomorrow we'll do some more base coating. We may fool around with some of these horrors real quick before we're finished, and I think that'd be good. That'd be a good first day if we can get some of these things looking pretty good, personally. All right. Alrighty, there we go. And just getting that good rhythm, making sure you hit everything so you don't have to do it again. And even if you don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. That's why you always have brushes and paint. You can touch up anything, you can fix anything. Things are made to be fixed. What we're really trying to do is just get a good dark coat here. So, because with a lot of these, we want to really bring out when you have models of this kind of caliber, you really, really want to work and bring out the model. It doesn't have to be picture perfect like you see in the magazines and stuff like that. I mean, those guys, that's, they do that for a living. The main thing is that bring it out and get color on it. Keep it simple, keep it nice and clean, and you're going to find that it's, everybody that plays it is going to really enjoy it, because it really, if you keep your painting clean, and that's the main thing, where you feel satisfied with it, it really enhances the whole spirit of the game. And that's all you're trying to do. Oh, goblins green, great. Get some green on them. All right, don't have to be perfect. Get some green on them. People always know it's something evil if it's green. Unless it's Kermit the Frog. And before long, he'll go bad too. Him and Captain America. Jeez. What else are they going to do? Anything to sell a book. Alright, and the face, like we said 4,000 times, and I keep on saying it. You start from the outside. and you work yourself in. Now he's got teeth there, but I'm not worried about that right this second. My biggest concern is just making sure I get that face totally covered in the green. All right, Gab? Yes. Go ahead, lick my leg again. You silly dog. And what I'm doing here, hopefully on camera, just working, constantly moving that brush, making sure I get the colors where we need to have it, not to miss anything, getting inside so nobody picks it up and goes, oh geez, he's got black hands and green hands. But also, we're not looking for any awards, okay? We're just looking to get these where they're fun to play. And they look good. All right, the squall stopped, so the girl should be safe. That's the most important thing. All right, so now, and again, I'm going to move that down. And then we're going to come here, get this. I'm trying to find out who that is. No, no, it's nobody. All right, put that guy over there. All right, we're down to 2. We're moving along pretty good. That's what we want to do. Just keep moving. Perpetual motion. All right, that there. And these guys are hard because of the way you got to work this. And here comes another squall. I can hear it outside. And we're going to work that. We're going to work that. And oops, boy, I was looking someplace else. I got too much paint on there. That's okay. Actually, I can water that down a little bit, and that's fine. And just work it in there pretty quick. And we're going to work this. Oh my goodness. Perfect. And one of our noisiest and favorite person is here. What's up, Jess?
Hey,
What are you doing?
I am making bacon for Mom for tonight's dinner.
What are we having?
Grilled cheese with bacon.
Grilled cheese with bacon. Well then, that sounds like a pretty good dinner. And we're having marinated steak tomorrow.
Yep.
Ah, should play a game then.
You should.
Well, you wanted me to paint all this, didn't you?
Well, yeah.
All right then. Well, hopefully we don't lose power.
The horrors already look pretty cool.
Yeah, that's just a base on them right now. But that's the color that they're going to go. And you know how many times we saw horrors in the last 2 adventures.
Quite a few times.
I'm surprised how much you see those things. And we haven't seen some of the other stuff, so it'd be kind of interesting to see how they play out. I do like how the game plays with its automatic movement and stuff like that. Well, not so much automatic movement as much as it is you have that kind of, it determines what it's going to do. Okay, well, it's going to go after the biggest guy.
Well, the game is the dungeon master, basically.
Yeah, the game is dungeon master. But we also have that in Dungeon Saga too, which we kind of liked.
Yeah.
Which kind of worked. And I think that, we have to revisit that a bit. That's a game that we definitely have to go back to. And of course, let's not forget that the way everything works with Shadows of Brimstone. Both very, very good cooperative games. The only real game, well, the other one is Descent now. Descent has that automatic dungeon master in a way. But you know, that's a game that you could play with a dungeon master. You have to play pretty much with a dungeon master. And the old Warhammer Quest, of course. I think, well, no, I think you could have played that both ways too, cooperatively to some degree.
Because these guys are Tzinch.
Yeah.
They're kind of, a lot of them are gonna have bright colors, right?
Oh yeah.
Not all
Well,
of them. I know that. Oh, you have the guide here.
I got the guide right there, just so I can have an idea of what I want to try to accomplish today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, we want to kind of try to get a couple colors on here, and I had to start this early, especially with the storm. Matter of fact, you know what you can do, Justice? Why don't you put on the Weather Channel to see how bad it's going to be, if it's veered or anything like that?
I
Yeah.
brought anything that could break.
You brought anything that can break in. Good boy. He is a good boy most of the time. Actually, I'm pretty blessed that that they like to spend time and play. You know, it's a rare commodity that you find a kid that's 20 something years old and wants to, well, instead of going out on Saturday night, I'd rather just stay here and do things. And he's doing good at the gym. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that. Oh, you guys came back already? All right. And here we go. Rob is the best background noise while working, so relaxing. How you doing, Nathaniel, Kevin, Family Showdown? Good to see you guys. All right. Let's do that. Let's do that. I don't know where the heck that pink ended up on that guy, but we'll fix it. Something wrong?
No.
Okay. Now let's get this.
Just a minute.
Oh.
All right, there we go. Everybody's trying to be quiet, and I keep on telling them you don't have to. You don't have to be quiet. It's really fine. Like, oh, you know, I don't try to make this an overproduced fake channel, you know, with music in the background that you can pay for on Patreon or whatever the heck they have it, or any other bullshit that they try to put on you to get them to pay for all their paints and all their stuff. I'm a big boy. I pay for my own paints. I do my own work, and I'm not looking to be famous. I'm just looking for a bunch of people that want to join a movement and see that you can have a YouTube channel, get paid by YouTube. Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. Do I wish I had that Patreon thing where people were paying me every month, $1,000 a month or whatever the heck it is? Sure, I'll buy all the games in the world. But you know the funny thing about that is, and I was really disappointed in somebody that just started one lately because I really respected her. And I'm not going to say who. But the funny thing is, you know, the comment was, well, you know, something I really would like you guys to help me get a new camera so I can do this. And you can also help me so I can buy games that you get to keep. Okay, they get to keep they get to keep the games, but you paid for them monthly because you liked hearing them. Well, how about somebody that just comes on, does what you like, and you know something? If you have to sit through a commercial on YouTube, got paid that way. No, you're not. You're not going to make a ton of money that way, but you start a movement and you get enough people behind it. Well, guess what? It adds up. Then you could buy yourself that new camera. If you can't afford to do this, you shouldn't do it. Don't expect other people to pay for it. That's my thought. The best thing about gaming with your kids is that if you lose, you still win. No, if I lose, I lose. And I got to listen to that punk. And he's right here, and I'm calling him a punk. I got to listen to him all day, all night, and then it becomes a fight between him, Janice, Victoria, and I got to listen to that. So is it really worth it? It's better off if I win, because then they're afraid to say anything. Because then they incur the wrath of the Great One. How you like that, kid? Got nothing to say about it, though, do you?
No.
No, but if Janice ran her mouth, you'd be right down her throat. There you go. Family dynamic explained in 2 seconds. Well, you're cooking bacon, so we can have bacon. How many cheeses is Mommy using today?
I don't know, probably 2 or 3. We have a lot.
2 or 3, and then you know what you should have her do?
What?
Put some of those pickles on it.
Could do that.
Pickle, bacon, melted cheese.
That might be good.
Those ghost pepper pickles. She's got to make more pickles. Also, we're gonna have to send her. She's gonna get fired. She is in an option era for a contract. My wife. She's in the option year of her contract. If I decide to pick up her, give her an extension, that's totally up to me. But right now, she's doing all the right things. She's cooking pretty good. Things are kind of tasty around here. Wouldn't you say so, kid?
I would agree.
All right, so, she's doing a good job. She's trying to, it's kind of like having a rookie contract and then you go for the big contract. The one you get paid. Then you can be lazy, you can slack off a bit, but you got to get that contract signed. All right, so we're taking a look here. All right, we're going to kind of stay away from that. I know what we're going to go after. See, I don't want to do all the flesh stuff yet. But I can tell you what I will do. Because the most important hero that has to get painted is my hero. And that's how I feel about that. Amen. So what we're going to do is take some Retribution Armor, which is a great paint. Pickled bacon, melted cheese. Yes, please. Let's see here. Sean, Rob just picked up Homestretch based on your gameplay videos. We're going to give them a ride, no pun intended, tonight to see how they go. It's a great game. We really like that game, don't we?
Yeah, that's one that we come back to every now and then. We've played it like 4 or 5, maybe even more times.
Well, now Janice is talking junk though, so we've got to settle her down.
I usually do well. I lost. I can't believe I lost.
You know what it is I can't do anything right. And you know what? I picked the favorite horses figuring that they would win, and I wasn't too worried about anything else than them actually winning and getting me, getting me that payoff money.
Yeah.
But the thing that messed me up, and we're just taking I just got to narrate this for a second. I'm going to take the Retribution Armor here. Let me just take a real good look at this guy before I get to, because it's been a little while since I painted it. Well, it doesn't really matter because I have to go over everything. So I'm going to get kind of sloppy with this. And I'm not really going to worry too much. And we're just going to get it in there real good. I want to make sure that I hit all his armor points. I'm not too worried about things because I'm going to clean everything else up later. But if I get it on certain things, we're not too worried about it. And you can see I'm just working it in there real quick. I'm not worrying about getting it on. This is a beautiful paint too. I tell you, this one tub I've painted tons of these guys. Tons of them. And I'm not worried about getting it on the cloak or anything like that. Or actually, I'm just going to kind of go over some of this stuff here. And There we go, not worried about that. Going to get on the inside of the armor there, because we're just going to ham and egg it a bit. And this is one of those times where you kind of would like to have that cloak off, but you're really not worried about it. What the heck is that? All right, there we go. And this is one of those Rust-Oleum primers, and it's working pretty good. So I don't know. A lot of people have had problems with it. I know Sam had a problem with it. But, you know, it's a nice, cheap. You really got to make sure that you do it out where it's going to catch some good wind or some air. I like to do it in front of once I do it and spray it, I make sure that I'm far enough away, and then what I do is I get it underneath the fan, and it dries very, very quickly. Because if it sits there, I think that's where you guys run into a little bit of problem if it stays wet for an amount of time. And you got to make sure you're constantly turning your models. So there you go. Let me just pull this up. See who's here. That's Nathaniel. That should be placed better with more people than I usually have. You know, it works good with 2 people. It really does. You know, we just kind of mix it up a little bit more, and it's a little more wide open. But, you know, it has its moments no matter what. Flynn 99. Hi, Rob. How's it going? It's going pretty good. We're trying to get a good painting thing going on here. And again, I'm going to apologize for the 9,000th time that I had to start this early because of a tropical storm that is moving through our area. And I just didn't want not to do a video. So I'd rather start it earlier before it really gets going. And there's too many problems. So there you guys go. So now that we're all up to date, who is it, Mommy?
Atlanta.
Atlanta? Oh, who cares? Atlanta. Alright, so we got all the areas there. And you see, yeah, I got some on the cloak. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. I got some on more on the shield than I needed to. But the most important thing was just getting this guy covered real good, so my guy looks better than their guy. Okay, I don't even want to paint their guys because after the job that he tried to pull on me the other day. So we're going to come back to him. We're going to let him dry up real good. And you see, we're getting the base coats on, which is really, really the most important thing that we can do. You get your base coats on, and then from there, you just spend like an entire day highlighting, and you're going to find that everything just comes all together, and will come together real nice. Now, these guys here. All right, this brush is at death's door, I think. I got a couple brushes. I've got to go out and I've got to go buy a couple hundred more brushes. Oh, I'll spend my own money, by the way. Yeah, I'm in Brower. Always a question as to what the storms will do. Yeah, and I think that's a smart thing to do. Is just I kind of figured that the best thing that I could do is get this in early, and then just sit tight and let the storm go through, and not worry too much about too many things. Oh, I really like the way these guys look. I love the way this guy looks here. So why don't we do a little flesh work while we're at it? And we'll try to knock out as much flesh as we can, since we got that guy there, and so forth and so on. So we're going to bring out the Keswick flesh, which is just perfect. And we're not really worried about anything else than just getting the flesh tone on the guys, and then we'll clean up everything afterwards. But getting 90% of the model covered and getting them ready for the washes is the most important part that you can ever do here. So as you can see, and this is going to be, especially going with the black, going over the black, it's going to be a little bit of work, but that's okay. That's why we do it. But we're going to keep all the detail on this guy. That's the thing that we really want to do, because we want him to be jacked All right, we want him looking like he's about to do a bodybuilding show or something, instead of killing everybody that he knows. So we're going to really work on his musculature. I know that my British friends hate when I try to say that word, especially with my northern accent. And Gabby making her presence known. But that's okay. She's a good girl. Yeah. See, Mommy's not here, so we're going to break out our squeaky toy, and we are going to make as much noise. No, she's all right, Justin. She's a dog. Like I said, this is not something that you're going to... This is going to be how it's like at your house when you guys do things. You know, and I don't try to make it all... Like I said, this... If you want to go see those studio things, go watch them. That's fine. But I'm not going to change the way it is. It's like we're all hanging out. And I kind of like that kind of feel to it because it's very informal. You can comment on what I could be doing wrong, what I can do right, what I could do better. It doesn't matter. And that's the thing that I like about it. Because none of us, well, I'm sure there's a lot of you out there, but I'm not a professional painter. I don't get paid to do this. I do this because I like to do it. It's as simple as that. And I think you guys like watching it. Let me see. Yep, had a question on your portable painting station you did a while back, which I'm painting on right now. Did you get the base deck at Hobby Lobby? Yes, I did. And do you remember what video that was? Thought it was bookmarked, but I can't find it. I think it was Painting 101 Remastered Video 4. And it starts with me outside. I know that much. Because we start drilling the thing and everything. All right. Really not, there we go. I'm not too worried about that because that's actually silver. I got some on the staff here, but that's okay. This is all going to get the treatment. So we're going to put this guy back over here, and then we're going to pull out the next guy, the next guy, the next guy. Is this one? Yep. The next guy. Nope, that's a blue guy. That's a guy. Okay, so we got 5 more of these guys to do. Kind of want to get him jacked up. Go over his flesh tones. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to smother this on him. And then I'm going to clean up everything else about him. Because the flesh is the most important part on this guy. Because mostly he is flesh. Well, and armor. And muscle. Thank you, sir. Went to swing by Hobby Lobby on the way home before the storm hits. Yeah, it's gonna hit pretty good here. But at least I got this video in and I feel good about that. Because if I promise something, I like to try to keep my word to it. You know, you can't be perfect. We all make mistakes. But, you know, if I say I'm gonna do a video, I like to try to do that video. And, you know, keep some consistency with this channel lately. And for me, that's been a big thing. And if you notice that in the last 2 weeks, I think we've done like 25 videos, which for a little channel like that, that's a lot of channels. I mean, that's a lot of videos. Little bitty channel. Nobody even knows we're here. But that's okay. I kind of like it small. You know, I'm not trying to grow it ridiculously big. We're just trying to keep it where, you know, I try to answer every single comment, unless it's something that, it's self-explanatory. But I really try to answer everybody. I try to make everybody feel welcome here. I mean, after all, this is your channel. Not about me. I walk on the street. Nobody knows it's me. I don't think anybody really worries if it's me. All right, so we got big boy here. All right, we're gonna put it inside, and we're gonna clean off that brush. Boy, I got a lot of. Just looking over all the paints I got a lot of paint. You cooking that bacon, boy?
Yep.
They were asking what's the next game that we're going to unbox and do. I promised a girl that we would play Crowmaster Quest.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do that Friday if we can, because I did promise that I would do that for her around Memorial Day. Because she asked, because she saw that we had it, and that's another one that's in the
The wrapper.
in the wrapper. But what are you thinking of playing? I mean, we could play anything we want. I know that we're going to try to do this on either Sunday or Saturday night.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to try a couple new games, but still every weekend we like continue our quest with the Warhammer quest.
Well, because I'm painting this, what I like to do is, you and I had talked about continuing the Awakening the Bear stuff.
That's true too.
We wanted to play all the way through with the other thing there.
We've done 3 missions now, right?
Yeah, we've done 3 missions of Awakening the Bear. I'd like to. What I like to do is also do the not Shadows of Normandy, Heroes of Normandy that we were doing, because we were doing good with that too. We did 2 missions. I don't think you like that as much.
No.
All right, that's what I wanted to hear, because you don't usually tell me. So.
But I didn't dislike it. I just kind of like. I feel like the Conflict of Heroes is like a little bit of like a more serious tone.
Right.
And the battles are a little bit larger too.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And a little more epic too.
Yeah.
And we're doing Awakening the Bear. We didn't even start the Poland one. We didn't do the one for we have the Steel Panther one, or whatever they want to call it.
The thing with the Heroes of Normandy is it was kind of like, oh, the sergeant lost his dog. Can you find it? And it's like, well, that's kind of funny, but it's not like a real battle.
No.
Like a historic battle, you know?
Yeah, I think we have to try other missions to get a real good feel for it, though.
Yeah.
At some point. But I think that one has to go on the shelf and sit there for a few years before it matures into our repertoire. And then also, got a few other big games. Oh, you know what? We got that giant ogre thing that we should do too.
That game's fun to play.
That was fun. Let's see here. Let's see. Might be small channel, but I love it, Rob. Thank you, Justin. That means a lot, and that's the most important thing. And the natural family feel of the channel is great. Well, that's the one thing that we really try to do is, there's a lot of people I recognize that, have always stepped up and said hello or something like that. And you do become part of the family if I ever see you guys. I saw Pierre. I think his name's Pierre. But he's written me a few times. He was at MegaCon, and there was another gentleman that I recognized from MegaCon. I don't know if he wanted to be identified, so I just like, sometimes I just like don't like to identify people. But they came up and they said hello to me, and it was just nice. It was nice to put, a lot of you guys comment and stuff like that, and it's nice to put it all together, and it means a lot. This whole channel means a lot to me. It's very important. I've done this for oh God, a year and a half now, maybe a little longer. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, there's people that are trying to take my spot always on the dice tower. I know that. They're always courting Tom, and, you know, if I lose it, you know, I'm not too worried about it because, you know, the most important thing is this here and the moments that we have here with bacon frying in the background. And I think that's what really makes what I did or started to do so important was that, you know, the people that are part of this channel. Am I painting off? Ugh, I hate when I do that. Hello, everybody. Hey, Rob. How are you doing today? Manalus, I'm doing fine. Have you done any bolt action or Flames of War? I've got a ton of both, and we are about to put that together. Flames of War is something you would really like, Just.
What is it?
It's a World War II game where you got those units and everything, and you play it like you would play Warhammer 40K.
So why don't we try that sometime?
Yeah, I can't see why not. I got a couple starter boxes that are really, really just masterpieces, and I think I'll do that. And I was thinking of buying more of it because I saw somebody selling a bunch of it, and I think I'll buy him out. But I mean, those are just great, great games. Get hand in area. Heroes of Normandy has a Gazette series that has larger and more historical based. See, that's what I was talking. Yeah, that's what they said. And the expansions add more history-based stuff. D-Day. Yeah, see, we have all those expansions too. Remember, I picked them all up.
Yeah.
So those.
Well, to be fair, we haven't
We
given
haven't
it really
we
a
haven't
true
given
fair
it true.
chance.
Yeah, we haven't given. We did the couple starter things, and we were kind of like, okay.
We did like 2 missions at the beginning. Yeah.
But in fairness, you know, we did where's that storm going?
We're gonna just miss the worst of it, but it's supposed to be relatively.
Rough.
Yeah.
Well, we just got to keep.
It'll just be loud tonight. That's all.
Well, you know, the most important thing is just being safe and just doing what we can. And we got an hour 23 minutes in today, so we're doing really, really well. So I'm thrilled about that, guys. And you know, we're just gonna keep plugging along here, at least till Mom comes back. And Mimi, you know, we were going to try to keep going with the top 10, but my mother-in-law has been very, very sick. She's caught pneumonia twice, so she's been spending nights over there, keeping an eye on her. And you know, that's the kind of kids I got. You know, they take care of their family and they do whatever it takes. You know, she'll work, she'll go over there, care for my mother-in-law. You know, just good kids. They're brought up right by their mother. Except for you, you're a piece of garbage, Justin.
Sometimes.
Yeah, just letting you know. No, he's a good kid. He cleaned out the garage for me a bit so we can get the studio working the way we need to. We're going to go back to doing the... Why do I keep moving my hand away from the camera? Oh, I'm driving myself nuts. It's the hardest thing is keeping within the camera range. And all I'm doing is just really just trying to get this flesh tone on here, because the most important thing that I want to do is get this on here, get the main part of it on there. I'm not worried about his beak and stuff like that. Get the flesh tone on there, and then from there we're going to build out, and that's what we're trying to and attempting to do. Well, attempting. See, I missed that leg. I knew it when I saw it. Nothing worse than you have to go back over it. See, these things are just so detailed. Tremendous. I also have Shadows over Normandy, but it hasn't hit the table yet. You know, I've been kind of tempted to get that because it's Cthulhu versus the army.
Is it?
Yeah. And you know how we kind of like Cthulhu a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we played, what the heck did we play? Yeah, look at that thing. That thing's going to come close to us.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not too thrilled about it. And then it's going to go up the side and it's going to hit. That's where the real problem is. It's going to hit South Carolina at about 70, 80 miles. Boy, I hope we don't have a bad year this year. I really hope we don't have a bad year. That's the one thing about living down here is that you are going to run into that stuff. All right, let's get back to it. There are so many great games for Europe, World War II, both Western and Eastern fronts, that it's easily to get overshadowed or not build a broad audience. Well, that was the whole point of my um, power outages in Pinellas County. Okay, I thought it was us. That was the whole point of my War and Pieces segment, was to start bringing these things to the forefront from the old days to now. And, every once in a while, just throw one of those out there and just get people to take a look at something. You know, I really, really like some of the companies. I want to do an advanced squad leader thing and introduce him to that, and really kind of do some live things where War and Pieces, like we did our War and Pieces live of Awakening of the Bear. I thought that was critical because here's a kid that's never played this and he gets a look at it, and you guys get to see how he reacts to it. And I thought that was really kind of a neat part of it. These guys are going to look cool when they're done eventually. So, it's just having that kind of feel to it. So all we're doing is just getting these flesh on here. Today's kind of getting base coats on there, and we're moving along. We've got a lot of things base coated primarily, and then we're really going to start working in on things and shading things and doing their tunics and things like that. We may even do a little of that tonight before we're done here. We've got at least another half hour because I'd like to try to keep these 2 hours a thing. I may have to go over that, but we'll see how it all goes. We'll just do our best we can to get it all ready. And that's the most important thing, is getting things ready so we can play on Saturday. So it has some color to it, so you know exactly what's what. We've got goblins almost done, which is good, and that's important. And he's going to try to take that dog out before it starts to squall again, because she always got to pee. Actually, she just wants to go outside and chase lizards. Perfect. Oops, pain in my hand. Trying to make sure I keep this in. This weekend, I picked up a copy of Origins of World War II and SBI's World War I. I passed up Victory in the Pacific and Storm over Arnhem. Wow. I was looking at, it's a pretty big price game, and I was thinking, well, why don't we try to do this? And it was from Multiman game. I believe it was the last Blitzkrieg. I was looking at that, and I was kind of on the fence of doing it, but that's definitely a game for him and I. And Janice likes a lot of that stuff, like the Golem Arcana. That's the thing that's kind of personal between him and I, because we smacked the bejesus out of each other. But it's a game that we really enjoy. All right. Too bad it's dead. But again, like I said, if somebody wanted to buy it out, go buy it out and turn it into robots, and you watch how much better everybody just jumps at it. Throw it up on Kickstarter. All right, there we go. And I'm going to have to go over those 3 guys. But I'm going to let them dry first. All right. So that's done. What's the matter, Gabby? Go. All right. So now, oh, hi. Yes. Oh my God, you're so cute. Okay, come on. Out of the way. Good girl. Good girl. All right. I know you're excited. I know. So many things going on. Okay, let's see what else we're gonna pop in here. A new hero appears. Well, that's what they say. Base coated in Fang. All right. Base coat the Fang. Mechanist Gray. Draken. Oh, well, I could do that. I could do that. I could do that. Really, these Tazengors. These guys look like they'll be a little bit of a work. But I think we can get those guys done. I wonder if I would take a turquoise that I might have and work out with those guys. Let me see. Ox Brooks 1. Hey, your channel's really grown. Well done. Great content. Thanks so much. It means a lot. It really does. Yeah, tanks look like a low-cost entry point for Flames of War. They are. It's unbelievable. Have you seen the new tanks minigame from Gale Force 9? It's basically X-Wing with World War II tanks. Yeah, I'm waiting for it to come out. The minute it comes out, Justin and I are going to bang it out for you guys. And I think that'll be another fun one for you guys to enjoy with us. Like I said, we always enjoy doing things with you guys and making you guys a big part of it. How do I want to do this? Forgive me because I was supposed to sit down and really start thinking about how I wanted to do some of this stuff. And to be honest with you, I did not get a real good chance to take the time to kind of start planning things out here a little bit. Oh, wow. Oh, they talk. Okay, they talk about it. They don't show it to you. I just want to find out what. Okay, the Fang, that, the Beast. Okay, the Tanzagors, they actually show you. I do have the glaze. I have layer of blue horror. All right, we'll do it that way. We will do it that way because we do want to try to get all the base coats on here. And then tomorrow it's going to be like, is that the Fang? No, that's Rust Gray. Forgive me, I'm trying to look through here and find. I got so much paint. I got like layers and layers of paint. The Fang. I was right here. Okay. Let me answer this. Yeah, tank looks like a low-cost entry point for Flame War. Hey Rob, do you use varnish on your miniatures? I spray clear coat, flat coat on them every single time. Protects from touching them all the time. Certain things I do varnish, but it depends what it is. The dog's eating, so please forgive her. The old girl's hungry. All right, so I'll tell you what we're going to do here. Oh my God, Gab. First things first. We're going to get the Fang on there. On that cape. And that is very important. Well, girl, you gotta relax. And then we're gonna build out and darken and lighten and do a couple things from there. The main thing is to try to get this on here. Get out of there. Dumb dog. Always trying to get in the trash. I'm trying to keep some of the trash in here. Normally we just take it out, but I don't want it to blow out all over the place. We're going to get hit as hard as I think we're going to get hit in Little Lake County here. Put the thing back there. There we go. Put it so you can see. And what I'm just trying to do here is trying to get over the main parts. I'm not worried about going over certain things. Really not, because we're going to build out, like I always say, we're going to build out on this thing. And I want to make sure that I get all the arms and hands. And this is an easy color to, it's almost like a base coat color in a lot of ways. So we're just kind of swinging it a little bit. And yeah, I can do that. It's not going to hurt anything. I'm going to come into here and do that. And if you notice, I'm really just kind of trying to be a little bit careful with this guy, so I don't overdo it like I normally do. You know, some of these, it's just so much easier to kind of blend things at some point. And we're going to be doing some blending here, so that's a kind of a neat little thing that you guys will get to see, especially with this big old boss here getting into the fray now. Alright, there we got a base coat on him, and now we're going to do our big boys here, because they are mostly that blue that we are going to try to, let me just take a look here real quick. Yeah, Tanetian, gold medal. Yeah, it's going to be some blending in there. So for the most part, everything's going to go blue. Beast Score Flesh over Pink Horror, Screamer Pink, Temple Guard Sotek Green, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, well, this guy's going to be fun. Not really, but Pheasant Gray as a layer. Okay, so just go over everything with that. Alright. Alright. If that's what you say. We're just going to try to get all the flesh parts of these guys. We're not worried about what we're touching, because we will clean that up in due time with his armor. But we do want to make sure that we get all the flesh parts so we don't have to go crazy going back over it again, which that's what we're trying to prevent. Okay, in between, back of the head there, over his face, over his arms, just really trying to work that in there. There we go. In there a little bit, because I'm worried about the leg. You know, the worst thing you have to do is go over this twice, and that's really what we kind of are avoiding by doing this, by adding this really kind of quick little base on these guys. And you can see that I'm working that brush pretty hard in there. And let's get his hand, because there's not a lot of these guys. So we want to make sure that we do it once and we do it right, right? If you could do it once and do it right, then you don't have to do it twice, which means that you would be wrong. Yeah, so our World War II stuff is something that has become a real passion of Justin and myself. Okay, that looks pretty good there. I just want to work that brush in there a bit. I don't like behind there, so I'm going to work that in there real good. And there we go. One beaked out dude. Now there's two guys that missed getting getting primed because they were out in the studio. Happens, huh? It happens. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these guys left. Let's get these guys over here. You, my friend, go over there. You stay there. You stay here. And we're going to figure out you two later. Then there's 1, 2, 3. I got to do Justin's guy and her guy. You know, we're not doing too bad for the first day. For the first day, where are we at? 1:40, hour 40 minutes in, and we're moving along pretty well. Like I said, don't be afraid to ask any questions or criticize me or whatever. It's okay. I'm a big boy, I can handle it. All right, that's got me a little worried there. Hold on here. So there's that, there's that. Where are they? Okay, that's what I thought. Sorry about that. I just had to double check something. And you get an idea in your head and you just go with it. And like I said, this isn't too fancy of a day today, but what we are doing is we are going over and just getting our basic coats on everything, letting everything dry, and then we will start detailing. But you kind of want to get, before we break out our little brushes, you want to get those big areas nice and covered so you can start shading it, bring it to life, and start to feel that there's something there. And like I said, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be good enough for us. And that's what's important. It makes us happy. And if you guys enjoy doing this, remember, the best thing that I can tell you is that, especially if you notice how I do this, I'm not sticking with one type of model. I'm doing something different all the time. And there's a reason for that. It's something new. You pick up a different model and you go, oh, wow, okay, let me get this on here, this particular color on here, and then you see some color on it, and it inspires you to keep going. And then you pick something else up, and and then you start whittling away at what you have here. And that's what it really comes down. She's all right, just. But you start whittling away at these guys. And then before you know it, you've got a whole bunch of guys with a base coat on, and you're going, oh, wow, now all I got to do is break out some silver and stuff like that. Start, or lead belcher and start doing this. And then I could put a wash on this. And then, it'll just be that one color that you do for whatever guy you're working on. And it just wakes up the model. The model just jumps right out, and you go, wow, there you go. There's that moment. And by changing models and changing colors constantly, changing brushes, and just doing different things while you're at this, what it really does and what really helps you is it keeps you from the monotony of just painting the same thing over and over for a whole week. And it just keeps, it's changing, and it keeps you inspired, and it keeps you moving, and it keeps you going, okay, well, I'll go a little farther, because if I just put this one color on these guys, I'll feel like I did, got something done. And that's what half of it really comes down to, especially if you're not a professional painter, is keeping yourself inspired in what you're doing. Because it's very easy to become frustrated. It's very easy to become frustrated where you're painting and then you go, oh God, this is monotonous. Why am I doing this? I don't ever want to pick. And then you get that sick pit in your stomach, and you don't ever want to pick up a brush again, because you were just doing something over and over again, like Blood Rage. And you do it over and over and over again, and then you'll never play Blood Rage again. Which, I've never played Blood Rage. And it's supposed to be the game of the year from last year. Because I did it too much. I painted so many of those monsters. It was maddening. Okay, that's 2. Like here, you got the goblin done. You look at it and you go, okay, all I got to do is just a couple things here and some dry brushing, boom, 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 and I'm almost done with those guys. And then you look at the pink horrors and you go, wow, I'm going to put a wash over these guys, and I'm going to clean up his teeth and his mouth. It's those little things. And then you say, wow, this is going to be fun because I'm going to paint his sword and his cloak, and then I'm going to paint in the blue of the shield, and I'm really, it's really going to bring this guy alive. And now all of a sudden, you know, you're getting excited because, these things are getting close. And like I said, you can, you know, keep putting base coats on, but it just takes that one coat of something that just really makes a difference and turns what you're doing right around and really makes it stand out a bit. So, tomorrow when we start doing this, it's going to be very, it's going to be a whole different type of thing, because you're going to see what we did today, and then all of a sudden you're going to go, wow, that guy's starting to come together, because right now they just look like, wow, he's just throwing paint all over them. Well, yeah, that's the part that you got to, and it doesn't look like much, and you're going to go, oh boy, especially if you're painting and you go, boy, I don't know what I'm doing. But you just have to keep chipping away at it, and then all of a sudden that one little moment will happen that'll make a difference, and it'll be very inspirational. And then you'll start to believe in yourself, and that's the most important thing. Henry Ford once said it, I'll say it to you guys 1,000 times. There are those that believe they can, and those that believe they can't. Either way, they're probably right. So there you go, a little bit of wisdom from the old guy that got pounded at a horse racing game. I don't know how much wisdom you can take from that. All right, I think I got, even if I go over this, who cares? I could touch it up. I'm not going to worry about it. Better, especially when you're putting that base coat on, better to have too much of it on, meaning that you've gone over too many areas than not enough areas, and then have to break it out and sit there with a fine brush and just do certain things after you already painted something. That will not help you. All right, that's 3 with 2 more to go. Uh-oh, this guy didn't get enough. Some of these guys were just hard to put together, though. Like this guy here was so very, very hard to put together. It's very discouraging at some points. And then, other people do videos where they do time stops and they just show you how quickly they paint through all this stuff. And I think those are good. They're very nice to see, but, it really doesn't take you step by step where you can just watch this, or, maybe you're doing something and you can have it on in the background and you can just glance over every once in a while and just go, this really works if I just do it this way. Or maybe you see something and want to improve on it. Well, I don't like the way he did that. How about if I do it this way now? There's little things that you can pick up. What the heck is dripping? Hey, Jess, can you turn off the sink because it's dripping?
Oh, sorry.
You didn't turn it off all the way. Knucklehead. I told you this kid was good for nothing. What time does Janice get back?
I don't know. I think later tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No games tonight. See, tonight would have been a perfect night to play one of those games that you and I personally want to get invested into. But you guys wanted me to paint this. So the next 3 nights, too bad. All right, let's see what we got. Lewis, how are you, my friend? I'm sure you covered this on other videos, but what GW colors do you find yourself using a lot? Honestly, I find myself using this retribution armor a lot. It really pops things. Lead belcher I use a lot. Um, boy, what else? I use the washes a lot. The new oil, a ton. Liquid talent, as we call it. The camo shade I use a lot. I mean, those are things that I really go through a lot. Um, Mephisto red I use a lot. It's another color that stands out in my head. So no, I don't mind answering questions 15, 20 times as long as you get the answer that you need, and that's the most important thing, Lewis. And one thing, if you just stick with this channel a bit, you'll see that I do, if you in a chat, try to answer every single question. I really do, and sometimes it slows up the video a bit, but you know something, if you took the time to ask a question, I think it's only right that I do my best to answer it. Now, if they start coming 500 questions at a time, I don't know if I'll be able to do that someday in the future, but you know, I will do my best. I will do my best not to change this channel one bit and just make it what it is that you see today. And there you go. And that's how I feel about that. And I'm not afraid to tell you guys what I think. I know another guy that isn't afraid to tell you what he thinks. Nick. Nick's a good guy. I actually like him. We've chatted a few times. I think we have more in common than he knows. Let's see. I'd like to meet him one day. I saw him at the Dice Tower a few years ago, but I just, you know, I don't bother people. Now that my channel's doing pretty well, it'd be interesting to see how Dice Tower Con goes this year. And then Gen Con. Can't believe I'm going to Gen Con. I was going to cancel, but my wife said you can only go once because I just don't like traveling as much as I do. All right, so that is kind of done. There's something I gotta check here. I think. Hold on. These little imp things are going to be a pain in the neck, I can tell. All right, so that's going to be. All right, so we're going to keep going. Geo-san, hello. I just opened YouTube and see you are painting Warhammer Quests. I'm also painting it right now. Cool. Pete, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. How have you found the Warhammer Quest? Did you enjoy it? Oh God, we did 2 live playthroughs, Pete, and it was a real blast. We really did enjoy it. Did you explain about the comic artist that ignored you and made you feel like crap? That's why you make sure you respond to things, because you don't want people to feel that way. Well, yeah, that's a big thing. And another thing, it's, you know, something, when you take the time to belong to this, you're part of this. So, you know, I've said this in the past, and I haven't said it in a while, but I never want this channel to be about me. You know, it's about us as a group, as a coalition, you know, just really working together for one common goal, and it's either gaming or video games or whatever. But getting back to pizza question, and I'm real sorry that I kind of bounce all over the place a little bit. I got to go over this with a second coat, so while I'm doing that, I'll talk a little bit. Pete, you know, I'm a big fan of the original game. The kids have never played the original game, but I have to tell you, we played it twice already, this game, and they absolutely adore it. As a matter of fact, they have begged me to play it when I want to say, well, let's go play something else. No, let's play Warhammer Quest. They really, really enjoy it. Now, with that said, there were a couple of things that I ran into. Like yesterday, there was something that happened when we were on a certain trial. And I was like, well, we can never do that again now that we discovered it. So it kind of has a finale to it in one of the things where you go, okay, well, that's kind of random, but also when we come to this test, we know the answer to the test. And it really, it was fun doing it the first time, but the second time it's already spoiled. So it becomes kind of almost like a legacy game in a bit for that particular trial, at least. And the thing that bothers me is I just hope that they really, really support this where you're going to see more expansions for it, where you can add more for it, where they do like in the old days and have the White Dwarf where it has tons of stuff that'll add to it. And I also want to break out the old one and say, okay, guys, after we've done a couple of these things, what do you think about this game? And play the original and have them go, which do you like better? I mean, you guys are both too young to remember the original, but your old dear old dad did. So, and just kind of compare both. See what they think. See what their thoughts are. Do they like the lighter version? Because that's what it is, the lighter version. Because if they did the version and remade the old Warhammer Quest, which they just might do, I wouldn't put it past them to re-release it, especially with what they were talking about, the legacy games. But if they were to do that, and that game would cost $300, just like Space Hulk, about $300 almost. That wasn't a cheap game. Space Hulk's beautiful in every sense of the word, though. I will always be a Space Hulk fan. And then I started looking at some of the little box games that they're coming out with, where they're trying to put together. You're trying to put together basically a Warhammer 40K army. And what's happening is that they'll come out with a game for something. Well, here's chaos and this, that, and the other. Here's and you could play it on a board. Well, that's brilliant. And then I saw how they added in the giant robots. I forgot the name of them. Forgive me. But they had a box set of something with that, which was separate rules where you could just play with the two giant robots. And I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing here. And they're really, really being smart about things. So I'm kind of looking forward to taking and really divulging in some of this stuff and getting a little deeper and having them try a little bit more as we go. Because Justin and I have played 40K for some time. I mean, we got tons of it. But we got away from it because, once again, when the rules get squirrely, we look at each other and go, okay, this isn't a fight anymore. All right, just let me finish this up. I see there's a couple questions there, or posts, and I will answer them. Just let me get this on here real quick. Second coat for this guy. And then I think we're going to do a couple things. I'm going to show you what my plans are, my evil plans. Because there's always a payoff to the video. I always try to have a certain amount of payoff, so you guys don't think I'm just a daft duck. There we go. All right, let me clean off this brush, raise my visor, and don't look at my arm. Just took up the whole screen. Okay, here we go. Oh, let's see. Hello from France. A bit late here. No, you're not late. Actually, I had to go early. And for those of you that just came in, I apologize horribly. But we are getting a tropical storm through here. And basically, I tried to do this earlier because by 6, 7 o'clock, it's really supposed to really get bad here. And I didn't want to do something and not fulfill it. So I decided to start it early so we wouldn't have power problems or internet problems that we might run into. Uh, thanks for showing up. I'm sorry that I had to start it early, but I figured by then at least this would be up there and you guys could rewatch it. Gotta run. Have a good night, Rob. Good luck with the storm. Take care, everybody. All right, my friend. Good seeing you, and be safe yourself. I know you're out there on the coast where it's going to be a little messy. Joel, thank you so much for coming by. I'm really sorry that we had to start this early, but unfortunately, it really turned out to, the storm. We wanted to make sure that we got it at least up tonight. I missed it, joining late. We'll go back and catch up later. Thanks for doing the series. Oh, not a problem. And the best thing about what I'm doing right now, and I'll just show you guys that are coming in late here, we're just getting base colors on. You want to get these base colors because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with a couple of these real quick. And we'll go over some of this. Getting, the gobos where, because they had the black outfits, you want to be able to get all the legs and everything like that, which is a little time consuming, and go through that. But you're going to see how just in just a couple of brush strokes that they're going to pop right out alive. And you're very welcome for doing it. It's my pleasure to do this series. Did you buy the Mighty Heroes expansion? I thought I did, but it didn't come in the box, so I'm just going to go get them anyways, just so we can have it. What's yours and Justin's favorite enemy you faced in the Silver Tower so far? Just.
Favorite enemy so far?
Yes.
I don't know. I think the most annoying one is probably the pink horror.
Yeah, the pink.
Because you know that you got to deal with like 5 enemies in one.
Yeah, that's probably, it's more annoying than it is our favorite, but I do like it a lot. I need to fang this guy, but I'll do him off camera later on. I do want to show you guys what I plan on doing with this pink horror. Let me just catch up with this. Good luck with the storm, everyone in the southeast. Yeah, it's going to be a little rough, but I got a feeling we're going to have a bad season. Now, with these pink horrors, what you want to do is I'm going to wash over these guys, and it's with a very deep red thing, which is going to take them away from being pink. But what we're going to do is when that dries, and tomorrow I'm going to show you, you're going to see that you're going to be able to see all the detail. But the most important thing that's going to happen from this is that when I dry brush over it, it's going to leave all this shading in the crevices. And we're going to take a brush, and like I always tell you, when you hold your brush when you're dry brushing, you want to hold it almost like you were tickling somebody with a feather. As sick as that sounds. Hope the storms passes without causing you guys any problems. We're having flooding and blackouts here in Texas. Yeah, it's been rough for you guys. I'm really sorry to hear that. All right, so let's get right to this and try to get this in there. So I'm going to use a brush, a thicker brush like this, because I really want to kind of work. I want to work this, and we're going to do the same thing with the blue horrors, but we're not going to use a red. So I really want to show you guys this, so you have some payoff at the end of this instead of just seeing me do base coats the entire time. But the thing is, the beauty thing is I put this coat on, okay? And the thing is that I was able to go on. You never stop going to different figures and kind of, it's like a puzzle, and eventually you keep adding pieces and pieces until it all comes together and you go, wow. You just have, like I said earlier, you just have that one moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just, see how I'm working that in there? And I'll give you a little better. Now I want his mouth dark because we're going to do some detailing there, and we want the shadow in there from the black primer. But do you see how his musculature, I know I'm going to get butchered for saying that, musculature, is starting to work, and you see how that kind of work. And I'm just taking this wash and I'm really working it in here, and it's really, all of a sudden this guy is starting to come to life a bit. You see the detail near his eyes and stuff like. See how that brings out his eyes a bit. Hold on, I got it going the wrong way. So let me just work it into the bottom part here and then spin him around. Yeah, I mean, you can see a difference here. I'm going to show you that way. There we go. And you see how we have that in there, but then all of a sudden you turn over and you see where we're starting to get. See how that's all that wash is just working right in there. And you can see how it's just getting into his muscle structure. And it's going to dry in there. So when we come over with a nice dry brush of a lighter color, it's really going to make a big difference. So let's turn this guy over a bit and do the same thing. You see how that's getting into his fingers, into his crevices, into cracks that he didn't even know he had. And then we're not worried about those feathers or anything, but we can push that over there. You see how I just work that in there ever so nicely, so it just kind of stands out. It really brings out and when that dries, and you want to, if you have too much in an area, just take your brush and move it around. Let the brush do the work for you. Don't let the wash control you. You control the wash, and you push the wash where you want that wash to go. And you can see how we have that nice dark and how that works. Justin and his overpowered teleport anywhere, then do 2 times damage attack. Yeah. Just, they're calling you out, dude.
Pretty good attack. That's why
It's
I
pretty
picked
good.
that guy.
Yeah, that's why you picked that guy. He will, before we play something, he'll study everything, and then when we go to play the game, he goes, "Oh, I'll take this guy. Oh, okay, you take that guy." Then all of a sudden you find out all these nasty things that he has because he just sits there and he studies. You think he was studying for an algebra test or something. And you don't want to overdo it with the wash. And what I mean by that is really pull it in there because it will drain down. So that's why you want to take and you really want to move it around. And you can see I'm really, really working. I'm taking and working what I have here. If I think it's pulling up, I'll go to that area and I'll get it on my brush and I will work it around. I mean, look at that. That's exactly what we're looking for. Exactly what we're looking for. His character is the shard or something, right? Yep, that's correct. I'll tell you what I'd rather have. Instead of overpowered heroes, I want overpowered villains. I want it hard to beat the villains. I want it like Shadows of Brimstone, where I feel that, we can die at any moment and this game will be over. And it'll be very disappointing. Maybe that'll happen with some of these as we start getting bum rushed, as we get deeper and collect more shards. And, I hope we lose because I think it's good. I'd rather have a challenge instead of work my way all the way through the thing and go, okay, that was all right. I mean, the old one, if you survived through an adventure, you were like, oh my God, that was fantastic. And then the worst part about it is that you went on to the second one, and guess what happened? In between things, you get killed, for crying out loud, in the original one. All right, so that's it for the crimson stuff. So we're going to let that sit and dry. So what else we're going to do, and we're really getting somewhere tonight. So, we're going to get ourselves in good position with about 10, 15 of these guys. And that's really, really key for what we need to do. It was very important. And because when we start building out, that's really, really going to be like this guy here. And I want to show you, we just threw on the retribution armor, and you can see what, he's going to pop the minute we start working on some of these other things on him. So a lot of washes, these washes really make a difference. And I know sitting through this is a little painful at times, but there's a reason for everything and everything I do. Agrax Earthshade, no, I don't need that. Septium, no, I don't need that. Mule Oil, no, even though that's my favorite. We don't need that. We are going to be using some Sotek Green, I can tell you that. That's coming up in the near future. Ah, there it is. Okay, so like I told you before, we put the Tesla Blue on there. What was it called? Techis Blue. Techis Blue. Why they have these stupid names, I'll never know. And now we are going to take a Drakenhof Nightshade, and we're going to take that. Mansion of Madness hard. What's the other game? Besieged hard. I like games that are hard because it makes us work together harder, or, well, actually, it just makes us work together harder. And then watching Janice's face when she fails at something is the greatest thing. Makes up my entire day. Okay, so now here we are with the blue horrors, okay, and we're kind of doing the same thing. You know, we put that Tekis blue on there, and now you take this wash, okay, and you take this brush, and you get some wash on here, and watch what's going to happen. Watch what's going to happen here. You know, I'm going to move this wash around. It's a blue wash. I'm going to move it around. But what is it going to do? It's going to fill in those areas. It's going to give some depth to this character. And that's what we're looking to do. I mean, you could see the difference here. Okay, and then we spin it over on the other side, and you have that level of depth that we're looking for. And like I told you, you control the wash. Don't let the wash control you. We want to get it into his muscle structure in between his fingers here. I mean, look at that. Look right there. That's what I'm talking about. Where you can get that depth in there and have that dry in there. And then when we go over it, when we, you know, dry brush a lighter color in there to bring out the heavier parts of it, it's going to be a world of difference. It's really going to be something wonderful to behold, because then you have that satisfaction of feeling that, you know, you can do good quality work no matter who you are. Painting isn't, there are people that are very skilled at it, but anybody can do this. Anybody can pick up a brush and get a satisfactory result, something that's very meaningful, something that you can look at and be proud of and put on a table when your friends come over or your kids hound you to play the game. And you can go, you know something, this looks good on the table. And I did this. A sense of pride. Anybody can paint. Anybody can teach anybody to paint, and it's just a beautiful skill to have, and it's a good enjoyment. You know, some people don't like it. It's not for everybody, but you can find some really that you can really do some wonderful work, and it just takes practice, time, patience, and you know, being willing to make mistakes and fix your mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. My poor wife made a mistake. She married me. How does a model marry just a big old dumb idiot? Likes to play video games and stuff like that. Well, she did. Very blessed to have her. That and the silly dog that keeps licking my leg. I don't know what's wrong. 90-pound German Shepherd. It's our first dog. Of course, those of you that have been members of the channel since the early days, we had bought a dog. Her name was Sophia. She was absolutely beautiful, silver German Shepherd, and we got her from a puppy mill, and we didn't know anything. It was the very first dog we got. And she passed away after 9 months because she had a heart failure. But we didn't let that stop us. We went out the next week and we got another dog, and her, and now we have Gabriella Sophia. And we named her in her honor. And she has been a blessing for the last year. Well, let me take that back. Because she's making noise now. What are you doing, you knucklehead? Oh, she's playing with her bone. The dog's so spoiled. Oh, am I missing questions? I'm sorry. Looking forward to seeing that Sigmarine painted. Yes. Sigmarine. Oh, I get it. You excited for the other Seven Sins game when it's released? I will be when it releases. Right now, I don't know enough about it. And, I try not to look ahead because I'll drive myself crazy. And that's one of the worst things I think I run into is that, there's a couple games out there that I'm interested in, but they're not coming out till next year. And I'm kind of like, okay, well, what do I do till then? Well, yeah, I got 90 games that are 900 games that are in the wrapper and the thing, but there's just sometimes certain things that I just want to crack open. So, like Kickstarters and stuff like that, I really don't waste my time with them. And it's not because it's a bad thing. I've heard horror stories. I mean, why was I able to get Aliens versus Predator and you guys didn't get them? So there's a lot of things that go on with that. Do I get all the extra stuff or the little bonus things? No, I get the game that you intended to put in the box. And that, as much as sometimes I would like to get the bonus stuff, I don't need it. I just, sometimes I just get what I get. Let me catch up with the questions here real quick. I'm in for the others for about 240. The minis look amazing. Wow, that's a big nut. And then they complain about Games Workshop stuff. How you doing, Kurt? All right, cool. So where are we at? We're at 2 hours and 17 minutes. Really? All right, we're going to go about another 10 minutes and then we're going to call it for today, I think. But in the meantime, why don't we just keep on going with our horrors. So now what we're going to do, and I'm going to do a little dry brushing, is there's two types of yellow that I have. I have a flash git yellow and a Uri yellow. So what I'm going to do is, since this brush is pretty much beat, we're going to do a little dry brushing with these guys. Just a little. And we're going to do this a certain way because, first of all, we're going to dry brush a darker yellow and then a lighter yellow. And then we're going to take the red wash and wash over it. Yeah, I know what you're saying. What? Yeah, well, just stay with me, folks. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take as much as this off that we can. So we are going to take that off. And remember what I told you? I told you when you dry brush, the most important thing that you can do is just hold it and tickle it like you are with a feather. Always check your bottom and see if you have too much paint, first of all. That's a little bit much, but that's okay. And I'm just taking this and I'm just dancing this on these guys. Just dancing over the high points. I don't want to lose that orange because see how that orange? I want to keep that orange underneath there. Really want to keep that in there. I can use some of the paint that I wiped off here. There we go. And I just want to dance that darker yellow in there. That's all I want to do. There we go. Don't want to lose the orange. There we go. All right. Now we move on to the next guy. We're going to do the same thing again. And we're going to work that. We're going to take this darker yellow on this very bad brush. And we're going to dry the paint over here. So hopefully I get a little bit of a kind of wet area. And then I can use this over here as my dry area. So if I, in the middle of doing this guy, I run into that, I can just kind of, and you could just see I'm just kind of dancing over these guys very lightly. I don't want that yellow to overtake it, but I want to be able to see, whoops, I want to be able to hold on to the miniature. Now look, back into this area here, work it off again. Check your bottom. It's easier to paint the bottom than to repaint a model. And then just kind of graze over these guys. That's all I kind of want on them right this second. Because we're going to go over one more time with another type of yellow. And we're going to finish these. I think we're going to take these guys to completion almost, except for some highlights that we'll do later on, but we can show you that later on. Because we got our guys that are going to dry here. We got some other guys that we're going to dry brush tomorrow. And, you know, I figure if we can get 2.5 to 2 hours a day, I think we can do a lot of stuff by Wednesday. And I think that'll be kind of exciting. Because then next Saturday when we do it, you can see the results of everything on the table, and that'll be kind of fun. And you can reference these videos and say, hey, yeah, I can do that too. Anybody can do this. If I can do this, you guys can do this. And I'm just going to go over that wet spot again. Dry that off a little bit. Working very carefully. Working because some of these parts are brittle. All right, perfect. All right, let's go over to this last guy. I'm going to just take another little dab of this out. Keep an eye on the gabster. Okay, here we go. And we're going to dry that off. And there we go. That's a little heavier, but I can live with that. I can live with that. And then back here. And voila. Now, because this dries so quickly, because after all, we're just dry brushing it. We can take our brush, clean off our brush, and now clean this off really, really well. Make sure there's nothing on there. There's still a little paint on there, but that's okay because I have my homemade painting thing that if you have watched my painting 101s, you can make yourself for under $20. I do not get any residuals from Hobby Lobby, by the way. So now we're going to take the Flash Git Yellow, which is a lighter yellow, which is or we can even go flat yellow. Yeah, why not? Let's break out some Vallejo. All right, we're going to shake this up real well. And I'm just going to pour a little bit of this right onto the paper. Don't bark. Now you can see the difference in colors here.
No.
And you can see the difference in papers. And dog was attacking poor mom, so that's all right. So now all we're going to do is we're going to very lightly just hit the very, very, very high points. See how we're getting that twisted kind of, you got the darker yellow underneath and the lighter yellow on top now. Perfect. We can do this as well. Probably drag a little bit of that. It's okay. All right. And these things are just really doing what they need to do. I'm even wondering if I should take the red and go over them with a wash, because I want that to kind of stand out a little bit. And you can see that just taking the lighter yellow and going over the darker yellow. It's really bringing these things to kind of a light life. Huh? I guess I never noticed that before. Guess I don't see why not. Just never thought of it. What's that? Love Vallejo paints. I use 90% of them at the time. Like part Citadel and part other stuff. It's going to be a very different look with those minis painted. Yeah, you know something? Sometimes I'll just grab some. The colors, it depends what color that you have in your mindset. And, you know, just because you have a certain kind of um, paint doesn't mean that you have to use all the same paints. I mix different paints because I get different shades of things. And I like how certain things go on and certain things don't go on. Like there's a darker blue here that you can get from Vallejo that, you know, will bring certain things out, or lighter. Their whites go on a little bit better, foundation white. Um, I also have a gloss varnish that I really like better than I like the other varnishes. So I mix paints and I really don't, you know, it's where it's also like with some of these. See how this baby blue is? This is a great baby blue. We're going to use some of that baby blue because it's a good dry brushing. It's a cheap paint. You're not spending like $7 for it, but you can go get this for 99 cents and use it as a dry brushing paint because it works. So, you know, I've mixed all types of different paints and it's worked very, very well for me so far. Well, then again, if you like my painting, if you don't like my painting, well, then this doesn't work. All right, so now that we've got that where we want it to, makes me feel a little dangerous. I'm just going to take a little. And the nice thing about these Vallejos, like those army builder paints, especially the ones that Joel has, that little set there, that's a beautiful set there. You know, you can do a lot of great things with it. But, you know, if you get certain paints or certain colors that you need and it's not, you know, not exactly in that paint, it works out just as well. I use some folk art gunmetal. Yeah, it's cheap. It's a cheaper paint and it works very, very well. Been tempted to pick up a couple of random Citadels. Yeah, I advise it highly. I've used folk art and those seem to work well. Yeah, they're cheap and affordable and they work fantastic. You'll find them. You'll find them here. I love their black. So you know, I have a good mixture of everything. I couldn't even keep all the paints on here that I have. All right, so all right, for our final act today, I'm feeling very dangerous because I want to see how this would look. So let's see what would happen. And we'll get your opinion because I can always go over it. But if we took the crimson red here, okay? Now we got these things and they look pretty decent. You know, they look all right. But I think if we get that underneath red a bit, I think it just might work. I think that wash just might work, but I don't think you can put it on there very heavily. I know this is kind of reversing, but like I told you, a lot of this is that fire works differently. Oh, I kind of, because it's magic fire, I kind of like it a little bit. I'll have to see when it dries. But do you see what's happening? It's still keeping the yellow there, but it's also getting in there and really working in there. By the way, Ray, you are the man. That's all I'm going to say. Did not know that you were live today. Guess I'm going to have to watch this one tomorrow. Ray, I got something, a big surprise for you. So, um, watch, God, I'm trying to figure when I was going to do it because I haven't even put it on yet. We got to give my man some love. So, I'll surprise him. Now you see what this is doing here? It's doing exactly kind of the reverse effect of what I was talking about. It's giving more of that fire look. It's getting in there, but it's not taking that yellow out. And what I think I might do even is maybe even go over. I like what it's doing with the different types of yellows. It's kind of really working that. It's kind of giving that a bit of um, a smoky feel to it, which kind of works because this is a magic type of thing. So I think that kind of works. And then if I wanted to brighten this up a little bit, I would take that Vallejo yellow and just dry brush over the top of that. So let's finish up these three here real quick, and at least we'll know that these guys, we got something accomplished today. And then tomorrow we're really going to have some fun with these pink horrors, the blue horrors, and some of the other guys that we did, as we're really going to start making everybody start coming to life. We'll get the goblins finished up. See how I'm really going very, very light with the wash, but it's giving depth. It's not giving that kind of muddy kind of feel to it. So you got the red, you got the yellow, and these guys are going to work out fine. And that's what we're going for. So, oh, it is bag of burger night.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I guess we're doing groceries tomorrow.
Oh, we're doing grilled. And then we're doing the steaks in a couple days? Okay.
I guess so.
Well, that makes sense because I'm sure she doesn't want to do all this painting, cooking. So let's give poor mom a break. Okay, so again, we're just kind of getting that in there. We're working it in there very lightly. I don't have a lot on my brush, and I'm just kind of, and it's kind of catching everything that I want to get. I just want to get a little bit more in there, and ba-boom. All right, and then we'll work this around here, and I think that's pretty perfect. Well, nothing's perfect, but we do try to strive. Okay, so let's just go over some of the things that we did here so you guys have an idea. We've gotten these flames going pretty good. We've got these guys with, now that they have that wash in them, they're a little darker, but you watch how they're going to come to life. Pink horrors, as they're starting to dry, you're starting to see some of the structure in their faces, so it's really coming out. And we've gotten the gobos where we can start doing some dry brushing and some work on them. We've got these guys where we're going to start working on their flesh and on their shields and stuff. We've got our main villains with their main coats on. We've got the Tagger. Boy, if I could say half the names, that'd be great. We've got their base coats on. So we've gotten a lot of things where we needed to get some things. And of course, our Sigmar Knight. We've got him with his base coat, and we're really going to start hammering home some of this stuff. Now, off camera, I'm going to just throw some Fang all over this guy, but he will be part of the mix tomorrow, and you're going to see some of the things that I have planned for him as well. So, here's what I'm going to say to you guys. We got an hour, 2 hours and a half in here, so we're going to cut this, and tomorrow I'm going to go live at 5:30 so we can get another 2.5 hours, because I think we're going to need 2.5 hours a night. I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope this is fun. Let me just answer the last few questions here so I get caught up with everybody. Hello, Rob. Did not know that you were live today. Guess that I am going to have to watch this one tomorrow. Yes, I'm sorry about that. Maybe a GW Glaze, the yellow or the red one. Yeah, I agree with you. That'd be nice on there. That's a good call. Justin, I like to add a little of Vallejo Glaze medium to the paint for layers. Another good call. No worries, Rob. Love the videos of your girls at the convention. Those were some great costumes. They should be very proud of all the work that they put into them. Yeah, they had a great time. I am out of here, Rob. Great stuff, and stay safe. Good night, Rob. Everyone, thanks, Rob. See you, Rob. Yep. Okay, guys. So that's it for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Tomorrow we're going to get started earlier, and we're going to be doing a lot more stuff. And I really think that this is going to be the important phase that we're going to get into, because I'm going to show you how, after that you put that on there, how you start to build outwards. And that's what's going to be the key thing. So again, everybody, thank you for watching. Have a great night, and stay safe, and we'll see you soon.